We're live.
All right, thank you very much. I'd like to welcome everyone to the September 29th, 2020 virtual board meeting of the Central Union High School District Board of Trustees. At this point, we are reconvening into open session from closed session. There is no action to report from closed session in open session. We had discussion with staff and direction was given, but nothing was done beyond that. So at this time, we will call for the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll wait for the flag.
Just a sec.
No problem.
Having technical difficulties here. Sorry about that.
Well, in that case, let's just do the Pledge of Allegiance without the image of the flag. So if everyone could join me. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation under God, okay, thank you. All right, so if everybody could mute themselves, we're getting a lot of feedback, I think. All right, thank you. All right, so at this time then we will move to approval of the recommendation from the District Administrative Hearing Panel for the readmission of students for cases 1 and 4. This would be readmission to a little bit different than what's on the agenda, but to be consistent, this would be readmission of students from cases 1 and 4 to Desert Oasis High School. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, so it's been there's been a motion by Trustee Walker, second by Trustee Jimenez. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, all those opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. So now I'll entertain a motion for the readmission of student case numbers 2 and 3 to Central Union High School.
I'll make a motion to accept students 1 and 2 back into Central Union High School.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Ryan.
Okay. It's been moved by Trustee Jones, seconded by Trustee Jimenez. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. We'll move on to our governing board reports from our various trustees. We'll start with, we'll start at the end this time. We'll start with Trustee Walker.
Thank you, Ryan. I have nothing to report tonight. Thank you.
Okay, and then we will move on to Trustee Jimenez.
Same, just good to be here. At my age, it's good to be seen somewhere.
All right, and then we'll move on to Trustee Jones.
Yes, I would just like to compliment our administrative teams at Central and Southwest for their virtual open houses. I jumped on and looked at some of them last night, and I thought that they were a good job, and I commend everybody who participated. Thank you.
All right, and Trustee Garcia Ruiz.
I'm with Emma. I saw a couple of those. I had lots of parents calling in asking about the videos and stuff, complimenting the videos. They were very excited. So thank you for everybody that put in their job. And just, you know, it's so tough on students, on teachers, on parents I see parents even at the high school level, pulling their hair out. So I just commend everybody for, we're in this together and we have to get through it. So thank you.
Yes, and I'd like to echo those statements. I think our staff, both our teachers, our classified staff, our administration are doing a wonderful job under difficult circumstances. And as a parent of children who are doing distance learning, I know firsthand what our families are going through. And, I appreciate everybody's willingness to pull together as a community to do what's needed as we battle this virus. And so everyone's to be commended. And with that, we'll move on to our student board member reports. Do we have a report from Jatsiri Soto from Central?
Yes. Okay. Good evening, board members, Superintendent Andres, and committee members. My name is Yatsiri Soto, and I'm your board representative from Central Union High School. Central's ASB has been trying to keep students informed as best as we can. We discussed making a Google Classroom for the students that don't have social media, and as a way to include more Spartans. Our commissioners of clubs and BP organized a virtual club fair where each student could explore different clubs and they could join Google meetings to know more information, like when the next meeting would be. The president and attorney general are currently running class elections with students applying to be officers for their class. We also promoted the country's Higher Ed Spirit Week seminars, where students could join calls with representatives from colleges and universities giving out important information. There were meetings specifically for financial aid, scholarships, admission, etc. Our athletics commission worked on a virtual sports fair this week, where each day after school, there's different meets for specific sports, so students can get in contact with their coaches and stay informed about important dates. All the information is posted on the athletics tab on our school website. We try to keep school spirit as much as possible with Friday activities, prizes, and shoutouts. Our future events include 9th to 11th grade yearbook and ID pictures scheduled for October 5th to 6th, a kindness week organized by our commissioners of community service, a thank you to our nutrition staff for National School Lunch Week, and a thank you to our transportation department for National School Bus Safety Week. Also, we have the Red Ribbon SEL Spirit Week. I'd like to finish by reminding everyone to follow Central ASB on our social media accounts at CUHS_updates on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you for your time.
And thank you, Ms. Soto. And now we'll have our report from Anahi Ariza from Southwest.
Hello, good evening, board.
Hello.
So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for having me. This week or these last 2 weeks, the ASB has coordinated a college football jersey day to go along with Higher Ed Week, and we continue to recognize staff and students during these trying times. This week's Teacher of the Month is Mr. Gurdias, and the Student of the Month is Seth Birdsong. For our FFA, they have held 2 virtual chapter meetings with over 150 students in attendance for each meeting. They have created a mentor program called Big and Littles, where the older FFA members help guide the freshman members in order to provide an environment of inclusivity. The Southern Region Vice President Andrew Angulo was quite an honor for the El Centro FFA as he was elected, and they're also holding a virtual leadership workshop for FFA leaders in the Valley. We would like to commend our counseling department for holding the Higher Ed Week, both this week and last week. It has been a success so far with hundreds of students in attendance. The administration has done a great job in providing students with resources for secondary education. As for our HOSA, they continue to share their message of positivity in the bulletin. They are working hard to create a positive environment for all those students and their mental health. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And has Jude Montañez joined us?
I don't
There's
see
Oasis.
this.
Okay, So it looks like Jude was not able to make it tonight. He's probably watching the presidential debate, which is important civic responsibility.
You might
So
be.
with that, then we'll move on to Dr. Andrus.
So thank you. I just have a brief report. As you know, we met just a couple of weeks ago, kind of off schedule a little bit. So I'm a little less to report than usual. I'm really pleased and impressed with our school's ability to create activities online. The virtual fairs, the virtual club things that are happening, all of the tremendous outreach that our schools are doing, especially through ASB clubs. So I thank you to Anai and to Jitsiri and Jude. Schools are doing quite a bit to help their peers stay connected to school too, which is one of our goals that we have in our learning continuity and attendance plan. So all those activities create connections and finding creative ways. I know, for example, our counselors have their own Google Classrooms. Our school nurse has a Google Classroom where resources can be made available. So it's terrific to see those types of efforts. I'm really starting to think differently about how do we approach learning with the limitations that we have. And many of the things that we have found we can carry over when we're back to in person. And so some of these things probably shouldn't go away that we've learned how to do, especially lots of these technical skills. Even the school board, the people here, the elected officials are considering how do we continue broadcasting onto our YouTube channel, even when we're in in-person board meetings. That's something that we're thinking about. How do we carry these successes forward? So a couple of things just to consider. Starting on September 21st, we adjusted our daily and weekly schedules. So that has taken effect, and we're hearing some positive notes on that in terms of amount of screen time that's happening for students, opportunities for intervention schedules that are happening. Teachers are telling me that they're setting up times, and some students are coming in the afternoons for additional help and getting caught up on their grades and when they're not understanding something in their regular classes. So we've seen some successes with that. Yes, those board members that were able to visit the virtual open houses, we decided to call them open house as opposed to back to school because we didn't actually go back to physically school. So now let's try to call them an open house. And so if someone would have said back in January or February, yeah, by August, or September, all of your teachers can make a video, a slide deck with voiceover or a video recording and post it to a web page for an open house, I would have said no way. But look what everybody pulled off. I'm so pleased and proud of all the efforts that went behind that. Our teachers, especially those who are a little, it's harder for them to adapt to the technologies, who are a little slower to do that, they got it done too. And there's a lot of behind the scenes work. Someone had to drop all of those links onto each one of those pages and create those pages and have them all work. So everyone played a part. So there's staff at the school site administrative level. Our teachers on special assignment were behind the scenes on this one. Our administrators were on the scenes by this one. Our IT staff and our instructional coaches provided help and meetings to teachers on how to do this as recently as last Friday afternoon. And I know that Monday, there was still some of that final work getting completed. So tremendous amount of effort, and it was really great to see that. It may be something that we encourage our teachers to do next year when we have a regular open house, if we still have the video available. So that was terrific effort. The last thing I really want to share with our board and the public who's maybe watching this on YouTube is our web page will be updated by this time this next month, end of October. We should have an updated web page. As it turns out, our web page design is very outdated. It's about 5 or 6 years old. The design is kind of clunky, and some of the functions aren't even supported by the software anymore. So we're moving to a new design, which will be much more modern. The vendor or the company told us we're on one of their oldest designs, and we're moving to one of their very newest designs. Also, all the schools will also move to the new design template as well, but we'll have all the appropriate school colors and district colors, and it'll be easier to navigate and find out information. Along with those things, an updated Google Calendar will be present as a calendar function, so the schools and district have to maintain calendars. So those are some really great features. We look forward to seeing that coming at the end of October. So when we get to November, we should be able to preview or see that live by the time we get to the November board meeting. So that concludes my report. Thank you, President Childers.
And thank you, Dr. Andrus. And so now we will move on to the public comment portion of our meeting. And so I'll defer to our IT staff to let me know whether or not we have any folks who have put in to speak before our meeting. Okay, so it looks like I have just checking my chat, I have a message there that we do not have any public comments at this time. So then we will move on to the approval of the agenda. And so is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
And I'll
Is
second
there-
it.
Okay, so it's been moved by trustee Jones, seconded by trustee Walker. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. We'll move on to the consent agenda item, not items, as I read the agenda.
Mr. Childers, we had a
yes.
student preferential vote.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Still
Sure.
getting used to that.
Okay.
And for our students, board member reps, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
No, I haven't.
Aye.
They need to unmute.
All right, so I'm not sure if yeah, I hear a very sort of digitized, at least one eye. So we'll note that as an affirmative vote. And looks like it passes with our student preferential vote as well. So now the consent agenda item, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved by trustee Jones, seconded by trustee Jimenez. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously, subject to the student preferential vote. And for our student board members, all those in favor of the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
All right, so we have our two board member reps who are present voting in the affirmative, so that passes as well with our student board reps. So we'll move on to our action information items. Approval of the personnel report. Is there a motion?
I'll make a
Move
motion.
to approve the personnel report.
Okay, in a second.
I'll second.
So I believe that was trustee Walker who made the motion, second by trustee Jones.
It was Jay.
Oh, was it trustee Jimenez? I apologize. So the record will reflect the motion by trustee Jimenez, second by trustee Jones. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes unanimously. There will be no preferential vote by our student board reps on this, given the nature of the item. All right, now, this is the public notice and approval of intent to employ certificated applicants under the provisional internship permit. Now, this is something we do annually. Is there a motion?
So move.
That we approve the conditional waiver permit for the said employee teacher.
Okay, so I'll take that as a motion by trustee Walker, a second by trustee Jimenez. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Madam-
Abstentions? That was an aye, the last vote?
That was
came in?
Diana.
Okay, thank you. So abstentions or nay votes? Okay, hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. And then we will move on to adoption of the CUHSD Learning Continuity and Attendance Plan.
I move that we approve the adoption of the CUHSD Learning okay, the LCAP.
Well, not quite the LCAP, but the Learning Continuity and Attendance Plan, right? Well, it is the LCAP, I
There you go, you
apologize.
got it out. Thank you. Thank you.
It is the LCAP, yes, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll make a motion to accept the motion.
So I'll consider that as a second by trustee Jones. There was a motion by trustee Jimenez. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Did I sound like Biden?
No comment. Okay, so all those opposed,
Come on, man.
abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. We will now open a public hearing on the sufficiency of textbooks or instructional materials for the 2021 school year. Are there any members of the public who have requested to speak at the public hearing? Okay, and I'm receiving a message that we have received no request to speak at the public hearing. I'll close the public hearing. We'll move on to adoption of board resolution ending in 07 regarding the sufficiency of instructional materials for the 2021 school year. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution on acceptance of school materials ending in 07.
Okay, is there a second?
Mr. Childers, if the resolution, should this be roll call vote?
Yes,
It will be, but I
resolution.
need a motion. I need a motion and second first. I have the motion. I need a second.
Thank you.
Garcia Ruiz seconds.
Okay, thank you. Second by trustee Garcia Ruiz. And I'll call for the roll call vote.
Trustee Garcia Reese,
Yes.
trustee Jones,
Yes,
trustee Childers,
Yes.
trustee Jimenez,
Yes.
trustee Walker,
Yes.
school board member Soto,
Nai Araisa needs to unmute. There you go. She's unmuted.
So hearing no vote from Soto, then how about school board member
Arias,
Araiza? Okay, again, hearing no,
Soda's back on with us now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I got kicked out right now.
no, that's okay. That happens. So we're voting on item number 5, the adoption of the resolution regarding the sufficiency of instructional materials. How do you vote?
Aye.
Okay. And what about school board member Araiza? Are we, do we have communication?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you. Yes.
Okay,
All right. Thank you. Yeah, earlier it sounded like you had like a robotic voice. It was different. All right.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a quick question of the superintendent?
Sure.
Dr. Anders, how does our provision of electronic devices like Chromebooks fit into this sufficiency of instructional materials, or does it?
Those are separate. So when they talk about instructional materials, they're really distinguishing from print materials. And the point is well taken that hard copy, like paper books, are being replaced with online textbooks now. And so this is really what used to be very clear cut. Does every student have a textbook? That line is being blurred. And so this does refer to digital resources or paper hard copy resources, but does not include Chromebooks. They're not looking at devices. That's a separate function. And there isn't actually any sort of metric at this point in time or requirement that we must provide them. But as we've shared before, we are making every effort to provide them. So good question.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? If not, we'll move on to the public hearing on the fiscal impact of the 2019-2020 tentative agreement with the Classified School Employees Association, Chapter 726. Are there any requests from the public to speak? Okay, I'm seeing that we have no requests from the public to speak. I will close the public hearing and we will move on to the vote for approval of the tentative agreement between CUHSD Board of Trustees and CSEA. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the tentative agreement with the CSEA and Central Union High School Board.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. All right, now we'll move on to item number 8. A request for board approval of a salary increase and
move to
one-time
approve
off-schedule
action.
payment for the following unrepresented employee groups: administrative and confidential classified management.
I move to approve action item 8 on the agenda.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, it's been moved by trustee Jones. I'm sorry, trustee Jimenez, seconded by trustee Jones. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion carries unanimously. All right, then we'll move on to approval of the amendment number 1 to the employment agreement between Dr. Andrus and the Board of Trustees of the Central Union High School District. This goes along with item 8 before, but has to be handled as a separate matter. Is there a motion?
I move to approve action item 9 on the agenda. Action item 9.
Okay,
I'll
Is there a
second
second?
that motion.
okay, moved by trustee Jimenez, seconded by trustee Jones. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the motion carries unanimously. And I believe that brings us to the end of our action items, yes. And so then we'll move on to comments from the ECSTA and CSEA. We'll start with ECSTA. Do we know, is Mr. Duenas on and prepared to speak?
There he is.
Okay, thank
He
you.
came and went.
I don't have any comments tonight.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Duenas. And then we'll move on to CSEA. And is B on?
Yes, I am. Hello, everybody.
Hello, you have the
I'm a
floor.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm glad I didn't fall asleep this time because I know I've been missing a couple of meetings, not because I don't want to, but because I kind of doze off, and then next thing I know, I get a message. Do you have anything to say? And it's like, whoops, it's the next day. So my apologies. First of all, I want to thank you for approving and passing our classified agreement. Thank you so much. Second of all, I know it's been hard. We're here trying to deal with this COVID and hoping and praying that we can go back to some kind of normalcy sometime soon, sometime really, really soon, because you know, our members need it, our kids need it. Mostly, I believe our kids need it. And it's just driving our students crazy to the fact that they cannot have a normal life. And I have a couple of high schoolers. Actually, I have 4 high school kids that are just pleading for us to go back to class and to try to go back to some kind of normal life. Other than that, I think we have a couple of things that are brewing out there. I will make another appointment with Dr. Andrus to discuss some of those. I had a meeting with Arno this afternoon, well, at 2:30. It was kind of a lengthy meeting, but I think it was much, much needed. We just keep working one day at a time and just praying that we can soon go back to some kind of normalcy.
Ms.
Love you,
Mora,
B.
thank you very much. Yes, and
Love
I think
you.
we all agree with your comments.
Oh, yes, please bring us back. Well, I know, and then that's another thing that I want to thank Arno. I think it was Friday when we showed up to work at a little bit before 6 o'clock. Arno was waiting for all of us, and I think I will send some pictures to Dr. Anderson. He loves making his monthly report, where Arno himself, other than, I'm not gonna say he brought us donuts, but yes, he did. And he gave us a really nice pep talk about how we need to work together as a team. He gave us a big shout out to the cafeteria, which nutrition department, and the transportation department. We're making feeding our kids possible. I know Heber is at over 350 meals handed out to our students. That's a lot. That's a very high number. I have Sealy. We are at about approximately 70 meals that are being given out at Sealy and 350 in Heber. I'm not quite sure about the numbers over by Posada, but it's up there like in the 80, 90 numbers. And then Mondays, that's Mondays and Wednesdays, then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are doing home deliveries where those students do not have a parent that it's possible for them to pick up their meals. So I'm just very honored and very happy to say that we are making this possible. Dr. Andrews, thank you so much for being available on the other day for the interview. I don't know if everybody saw the article. I know I sent it to Dr. Andrews, but CSEA in San Jose wrote a very nice article where we were featured in our magazine Focus online, where they're really giving us a big shout out. Central Union High School District, making it possible to feed our students. I have been receiving very heartwarming, beautiful message throughout the state, thanking us for making this possible. Not only our school sites are handing out meals, we're going to the actual bus stops where we're handing out meals, and now we're knocking at the doors handing out meals. We couldn't have asked for anything better to invest our time in transportation and help the cafeteria ladies make this possible. So thank you, Dr. Andrews, Arnold, board. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. And we are very happy and humbled to serve our students. Thank you.
1B, thank you very much. And on behalf of the board, we'd like to thank all of our classified staff for the wonderful job they're doing and the important work they're doing, making sure that our students are fed in a way that is going above and beyond. And so we appreciate that and thank you. And so with that, we do not have any more closed session items to discuss. So we'll move on to the adjournment of this meeting. So unless there's an objection, I'll call this meeting adjourned.
Thanks.
Okay,
Good evening.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Everybody,
Night.
everybody stay safe.
Good night. Stay safe. I'll call you in a little bit, Ryan.